On your inhale, see if you can feel the ribs expand side to side. Working on a full exhale, letting the breath all the way out. On your next inhale, see if you can feel the rib cage expand front to back. Work on that full exhale. So as we're using our 360 breath, we want this feeling of expansion in the torso so that we're creating as much space as we can for the breath. Working on that full exhale. So just by bringing a little bit more awareness to the torso and the diaphragm while we breathe, we're starting to work the core, especially as we do that full exhale. And we'll come into bridge pose. So we'll come onto our backs, knees are bent, feet about hips distance apart. You can have your heels as far away from your hips as you'd like, especially if you tend to have any sensitivity in the knees. So we'll start making sure that the whole back is down, so even the low back. So if you're tipping the pelvis, you might not even know it, but that's when you'll have that little arch in the low back. So try to have the whole low back down, chin towards your throat so that the spine and neck are in a neutral position. And we'll start by pressing into the feet and curling the tailbone up. So our hips aren't even lifting off the mat, but we're starting to feel the glutes engage as we just curl the tailbone up and continue to press into the feet. Now lift a tiny bit higher so that the hips do lift, but we're not trying to lift all of our spine up. Most of my back is still down, and I'm just lifting my hips, starting to use the glutes even more, and then finding that neutral pelvis. So our two pelvic points, those bony parts right in front, imagine them drawing in, and then hugging that low belly in. Front ribs stay down, chin stays towards your throat. On an exhale, whatever part of your back is lifted up, slowly lower it down. And we'll do that again. So feel free to adjust the feet. If you need to walk the heels a little further away from the hips, you're welcome to do that. But again, whole back is down, chin toward the throat, press into the feet, curl the tailbone, firm the glutes, and pause here so that we're just starting to notice the glutes. If you're feeling this a lot in the hamstrings, go ahead and just tap the glutes. So that's just a reminder for the brain to use the glutes instead of the hamstrings. And then if you'd like, you can lift up a little bit higher. Finding that neutral pelvis, so those pelvic points drawing in. Chin stays toward the throat. Now if you'd like, you can hold here, really just working the glutes and that neutral pelvis. Or if you'd like, you can try to pick up one foot. The leg doesn't have to straighten, we're just picking up the foot. Now notice, if you're picking up your left foot, how much you need to firm that right glute to keep the pelvis level, and then maybe lower it down and try it on the other side. So if you're picking up your right foot, that left glute needs to be really active to make sure that the pelvis doesn't rock side to side. Release it down, slowly lower down. Feet can stay down as we start to work the core, or you can pick the feet up. If you do have that tip in the pelvis where you have that little arch in the low back, just bring the knees even closer toward your chest so that we make sure the low back is down as we work the core. We'll bring the hands behind the head. Take an inhale while the head is down. As you exhale, draw your elbows in. Lift up off the shoulder blades. It's a tiny lift. So what we don't want is the belly kind of puffing up here. If it is, just bring the knees even closer so that we can get into that deep low belly. And then inhale, lower down. Exhale, draw your elbows in. Lift up off the shoulder blades. Pelvic points draw in. Front ribs stay down. Think about hugging that low belly down toward the low back. Inhale, lower. Exhale, draw your elbows in. Lift up off the shoulders. Draw the pelvic points in, hug the low belly in. We're gonna twist just an inch to the left. So it's a tiny twist. Try to stay off that left shoulder blade. Come back to center. Inhale, lower. Last time, exhale, draw the elbows in, lift up off your shoulder blades. Draw those pelvic points in, hug the front ribs down, twist just an inch to the right. Try to lift off that right shoulder blade. Come back to center. Inhale, lower down. Feet come down, hands can come down. We'll take a big breath in through the nose. Exhale through your mouth. Hug your right knee in toward your chest, warming up the right ankle. So whatever type of movement feels good for that right foot. And now we'll warm up the right hip joint. So try not to let the body move side to side. Try to just isolate the movement in that right hip joint. Make a few circles in both directions and just take note of what that hip feels like right now. Flex the right foot, cross it over the left thigh. So let it land wherever. Right hand will press the right thigh away gently. Check in with the back even here. So low back is down, chin towards your throat. So we've got that nice long spine, neutral neck. If you'd like to go a little bit deeper in this stretch for your right hip, pick up the left foot. Maybe pause here, or hands can interlace behind that left thigh. Check in with your 360 breath. Release the left foot down, then the right foot. Left knee will come in toward the chest, warming up the left ankle. Make any type of movements that feel good. Same idea with that left hip joint. We'll make a few circles in both directions. Try to just move the left hip and nothing else. Flex your left foot, cross it over the right thigh. Take your left hand, gently press your left thigh away. Option to hold here, checking in with the back, chin towards your throat, maybe lifting up the right foot. Feel free to interlace the hands behind your right thigh. Feel that expansive inhale, ribs expand side to side, front to back. Working on that full exhale, letting the breath all the way out. Release it down out of your stretch. Hug your knees in toward your chest. Maybe take a few rocks side to side, up and down, whatever feels good along your back. And when you're ready, make your way into a seated position. Once you get there, we'll drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Back up, left ear to the left shoulder. Good, do that one more time on each side. And now we'll turn the head side to side. Come back to center. Right arm will reach up. Really reach that right arm up. So the right side of my ribs, my right scapula and shoulder are reaching up. So my shoulder really is up toward my ear. And then I'm going to drop my left ear down, getting a stretch in the right side of the neck. You can stay here or turn it into more of a side bend over toward the left so that you get an even bigger stretch in the whole right side of the body. Come back to center and we'll just roll the right shoulder. Good, really roll it up, pull it back, and then squeeze it down so that we're using all of the movement we can in the shoulder and scapula. Left arm lifts up, whole left side of the body lifts, my ribs lift, my scapula, my shoulder, and then I'll drop my ear down to the right, maybe turning it into more of a side bend for a bigger stretch in the left side of the body. Come back up and just roll the left shoulder. So bring it up, pull it back, and then squeeze it down. Circle your wrists. You can have your hands in fist or the fingers can be out. Any movement, you can move the wrist and even start to move the forearms. So a little bit of circling in the wrists and forearms. Bring your right palm forward. Bring the elbow in toward the body, and we'll use the left fingers to pull the right fingertips back. Sitting up tall, inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. One more, inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Switching sides, left palm forward. Bring the elbow in toward the side of the body. Grab on with the right fingers and just pull back as far as you need. Inhaling through your nose. Exhaling through your mouth. One more, inhaling through your nose. Exhaling through your mouth. Make your way into table pose, coming onto hands and knees. And we'll start to warm up the back with cat-cow. Shoulders over your wrists, hips over your knees. Inhale, drop the belly. So now we're tilting the pelvis forward, dropping the belly, lifting the chest. As you exhale, pelvis will tilt the other way, so tilting backwards, rounding the back. Inhale, drop the belly, pelvis tips forward. Exhale, round your back, pelvis tips back. Take a few more rounds of cat-cow, moving at any pace you'd like. Stretching the front and back of your body. From your cat-cow, come back to any comfortable seated position. You can sit however it feels good in the legs, but check in with your posture. So pelvis is neutral, not tipping forward or back. Front ribs are hugging in, chin towards your throat. And we'll reach the right arm up. Bend at the elbow this time. So by just bending the elbow, if this is enough of a stretch, you can stay here, or you can grab onto it with the left hand. Keep that big 360 breath. So see if you can feel the ribs expand as you inhale. Full exhale. Release it down, switching sides. Left arm reaches up. Bend at the elbow. You can pause here if that's a good stretch, or grab onto it with the right hand. Again, check in with your posture. Pelvis is neutral. Front ribs aren't popping out. Chin is towards your throat. Full inhales, full exhales. Release it down. Coming onto your back, we'll make our way into a twist. Knees stay bent as you roll to your right side. So we're coming all the way onto our right side. Let the knees come in toward the chest as much as you need for the low back and the rest of the spine to be long. Arms will reach out, and we'll take the left arm. You can reach it back. You can bend at the elbow. So we're not trying to force that left hand all the way to the ground if that means changing the alignment with the spine. So you want everything to stay where it is, and just feel that twist in the thoracic spine. So the mid, upper back, about where your ribs start. That's where we want to focus the twist. So keeping the low back where it was. Eyes can close. Left hand comes back over, roll back to center, and we'll switch sides. Keeping the knees bent, rolling to your left side. Let the knees come in toward the chest as much as you need for the whole spine to be really long. Right arm reaches back. So try not to force it down. If it doesn't get near the ground, that's okay. We just want to focus the twist in the thoracic spine. Head can turn if that feels good. Eyes can close. Bring that right hand back over toward the left. Roll back to center. Feel free to hug your knees in toward your chest and rock side to side a few times.